Hello, welcome back. Today we continue the story from the series Stranger Things. This retelling is made for English learners at level B1 to B1+. The language is clear, but the sentences are clear and more detailed. You can listen calmly and clearly imagine every scene. Now let us continue the story. The story continues in the small town of Hawkins. On the outside, the town still looks calm and ordinary. The streets are quiet and the houses look normal. However, inside the town, fear is slowly growing. People feel worried every day and cannot relax. Will Byers is still missing and no one forgets his name. Everyone talks about him and wonders where he is. Joyce is no longer at home. She is staying in a hospital room. The room is white, cold, and very quiet. There is a soft sound from the medical machines. Joyce lies in a bed and stares at the ceiling. She feels weak, tired, and emotionally empty. Her eyes are open, but her thoughts are far away. She thinks about Will every single second. Joyce whispers softly, "Will, please be alive." She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath. She remembers his face, his smile, and his voice. These memories make her heart feel heavy. Her chest hurts from fear and sadness. The door opens slowly, and Hopper walks into the room. He looks serious and very tired. At the same time, his eyes show kindness and concern. He stands near the bed for a moment and then sits down. Hopper says, "Joyce, listen to me." Joyce looks at him, and her eyes fill with tears. She asks quietly, "Is Will alive?" Her voice shakes because she is afraid of the answer. Hopper nods slowly and answers, "Yes, Will is alive." Joyce immediately starts to cry. Tears run down her face and she breathes very fast. She says, "I knew it! I knew it!" Joyce holds Hopper's hand tightly. Her hands are shaking, but she feels hope again. She feels stronger than before. For the first time in many days, she smiles a little. Hopper explains everything carefully and slowly. He says the body in the water was not Will. He also says the laboratory is lying to everyone. They are hiding the truth, he adds. Joyce listens closely and believes every word. She fully trusts Hopper now. Meanwhile, the boys are together at Mike's house. The house feels dark and heavy. The curtains are closed and the lights are low. Mike sits on the floor thinking deeply. Dustin sits near him looking worried. Lucas stands by the door with his arms crossed. No one is smiling. Mike says, "We cannot stop now." He looks at his friends with a serious face. Dustin nods and replies, "We will find Will. We have to." Lucas looks nervous and uncomfortable. He looks at Eleven but does not say anything. His silence makes the room feel tense. Eleven sits quietly on the couch. She holds a blanket close to her body. Her face is pale and her eyes look very tired. Her hands shake slightly. She feels strong pain inside her head and body. She is very weak. Mike brings her some water and kneels next to her. He says gently, "Drink slowly." Eleven drinks and looks at Mike. She says softly, "Thank you." Mike stays close to her. He wants to protect her from danger. He feels responsible for her safety. At the same time, he feels scared. The boys start talking about the forest again. They talk about the cold night and the dark trees. They remember the place where Eleven suddenly stopped. They remember how afraid they felt. They also remember the silence. They believe Will is still alive. They believe they are getting closer. Suddenly, Lucas stands up. His face is full of anger. He says loudly, "This is her fault." He points at Eleven and continues, "She brings danger. She brings trouble." Mike stands up quickly and shouts, "Stop it!" He says, "She helped us. She saved us." His voice is loud and emotional. Dustin moves between them and raises his hands. He says, "Please stop fighting. We need each other." The room becomes very tense. No one speaks for a moment. Eleven looks down at the floor. She feels unwanted, sad, and completely alone. Later, Lucas leaves the house. He walks fast through the cold air. He breathes heavily and his heart beats quickly. He feels scared and confused. He does not know what to do, but he makes a decision. Lucas goes to the police station. The building feels big and bright. He feels small and nervous inside. He talks to the officers and explains everything. He says, "There is a strange girl." He says, "She has special powers." He says, "She is with my friends." The officers listen carefully and write things down. Lucas feels nervous, but he believes he is doing the right thing. At the same time, men from the laboratory are moving through the town. They wear dark jackets and carry weapons. Their faces look cold and serious. They drive fast because they want to find 11. The cars stop near Mike's house. The engines turn off. The men get out slowly and quietly. They walk around the house and surround it. They are ready to go inside. Inside the house, Mike hears a strange noise. He stops talking and whispers, "Did you hear that?" Dustin nods, and his eyes grow wide with fear. 11 closes her eyes. She feels danger coming closer. She feels strong fear. She whispers, "Bad men." Her voice shakes. The men break into the house. They open doors and search every room. Their boots make loud and scary sounds. The boys hide behind furniture and try not to breathe. 11 uses her powers again. She closes her eyes tightly. Her head hurts badly, and her face shows pain. Blood starts to come from her nose. Even so, she pushes the men back. They fall to the ground. The boys run outside as fast as they can. They jump on their bikes and ride away. The wind hits their faces, and their hearts beat fast. They hear shouting behind them. The men follow them and shout orders. They shoot, and the sound is very loud. The boys are terrified, but they do not stop. 11 becomes weaker with every step. Her legs shake, and she cannot run anymore. She stops and looks at Mike. She says softly, "Go." Mike shakes his head and cries, "No, I won't leave you." His voice breaks with emotion. 11 looks at him and smiles sadly. She steps forward and uses her powers one last time. A strong force appears, and everything shakes. The men fall back, and the noise suddenly stops. The street becomes quiet. 11 disappears. The boys stop and look around. Mike screams, "11!" There is no answer. Mike falls to the ground and cries loudly. Dustin puts a hand on his shoulder. They feel completely broken. Meanwhile, Hopper goes to the laboratory. He breaks inside and walks through long hallways. He sees strange rooms, lies, and hidden secrets. Anger fills his face. Hopper goes back to Joyce and says, "We must go now." Joyce stands up without hesitation and follows him. They put on special suits. They enter a dark and dangerous world. The air is cold and everything feels wrong. Joyce calls out, "Will!" Her voice is loud and full of fear. They walk slowly and carefully. They see danger and strange shapes around them. They feel scared but continue moving forward. Finally, they see Will. Will is alive, but he is very weak. He cannot speak. Joyce runs to him crying. She hugs him tightly and does not let go. Hopper helps carry Will. They walk carefully and escape together. They return to Hawkins. Joyce holds her son close. She feels relief, love, and hope. Back in town, the boys sit quietly together. They wait and say nothing. They miss 11 deeply. They feel empty inside. Will is back in his bed at home. He breathes slowly and coughs. He feels strange. Something is still wrong. The danger is not over. This was the end of episode 5 of season 1. The story is not finished. In the next video, we will continue the story. Thank you for listening. See you in the next episode.